This isn't my typical video. However, recently, as I was viewing the videos on the channel Vibing Leap, I noticed a series of reoccurring videos, besides the usual series about, per se, the Roblox whistle occurrence, which has been covered enough times already. I am notably talking about Lover Mouse. At the moment, there's only 3 videos covering Lover Mouse, and I'll go in order of each of them, as well as providing clues and theories of what I personally think could be happening here. Let's begin with the first video, Lover Mouse, of which the title has an epilepsy warning tagged on at the beginning. And this is where I give said warnings. This video contains extremely graphic and gorish content alongside lots of flashing lights. Click off if you're sensitive to that. The description also says, "Don't know if this is related to that one person I met a week ago, but I got sent this game in Gmail, and I honestly thought it looked really weird." Interesting, but we'll note that later. The video starts out with the user opening a program on the user's desktop titled Lover Mouse. Based on the icon alone, it seems as though this game was made with ClickTeam Fusion, which is popular for many types of Sonic fan games, and is also the engine that runs the first 5 Five Nights at Freddy's games. The user resizes the window on the loading screen, which contains a heavily distorted Sonic sprite running, before we reach the title screen. The music's very odd here, and the art is a modified version of the Sonic 1 Master System / Game Gear release box art. Hi, this is post-editing Washroom here with voice cracks. That is not actually the box art. This is what the Game Gear and Master System box art looks like. The edited image used here is actually for a promotional comic when the game first released. This time, it's a close-up of the edited Sonic, with one eye fully visible and the other eye cut out in frame, although it seems like it's been torn open and is currently bleeding. Text appears on screen that reads, "My dearest love, I have been looking for you. I wanted to be your love forever, and yet you left me in the dark. Why you do that?" Let's have a talk, shall we? Sincerely, Lover Mouse. The user clicks on start again. We load it into the actual platforming stuff. It's Green Hill Zone with 0 objects in the level. The colors are heavily distorted, and there's low-pitched music alongside an ear-grating scratching sound and a flashing background. The user continues to explore the level, eventually reaching just below the first loop of the level and jumping into the pit/void below. The game seems to be soft-locked here, so the user clicks File and New at the top to restart the level. Reaching further into the level near the end, the game cuts to a loading screen as a love letter appears on screen. Then, a close-up of said love letter appears. As it's really low quality, you can barely make out what it says. There is an option below that says yes or no. Notice how no is bigger than the yes option. Intentional design choice, I'm not entirely sure. The love letter begins to slide off screen, and well, I'll let you see for yourself. The user clicks no, and the game begins to actively fall apart before this happens. That's the end of the first video. My best guess for the first one's ending is that the computer had ended up blue screening in the end, or that the recording couldn't continue beyond that. Other than that, it's a certainly interesting first video. The next video is titled Honeymoon's Love Hunt. The description of this video says, "The person that sent me Lover Mouse sent me another game. I felt really creeped out by the other game and how this person keeps creating new males to try and talk with me. It seems like that person finally got a friend that actually likes him. I feel really bad having to block that person every time despite trying so hard to be nice for me." The game itself is just your average Mario gameplay, except that Mario has no face and everything is obviously distorted, much like the previous video. There's nothing too interesting here except for the ending, where Sonic and Mario, in quotations, have a conversation likely to represent 2 different people. They bond and talk about how lonely they've been without love, before uniting as simply good friends. Not as interesting as the previous video, however this next one and the last one is by far the most interesting of all of them. "I'd do anything for you" is the title, and this time the description says nothing interesting. However, the video, which is no longer a game, speaks for itself. It's animated as stop motion, crudely drawn backgrounds, and a claymation figure of Lover Mouse. The video fades up as text appears saying, "I like you a lot. I heard you like foxes. If I were to find one, I'd bring you one, just for you, sweetheart." The video pans back down to claymation, and a claymation figure of Tails walks into frame. The audio begins to glitch here as Claymation Sonic walks back into frame with a larger book. What? What? The audio begins to glitch here as Claymation Sonic walks back into frame with a large butcher knife and swings it towards Tails. It cuts to white. Text appears saying, "I'd do anything for you," and it cuts back to this image. And my first thought was, well, there's a little bleeding from the head. Doesn't seem that interesting. I certainly wasn't expecting it watching this for the first time. It's not that obvious to make out what's going on here. It's very gruesome and very bloody, and Tails has been decapitated. There's a lot to take in, but there is one thing to understand from these three videos. The person who's making these is someone the user met a week prior to the previous video. Call it a stalker, if you will. I'd also like to mention, in the final video for a single frame, the word shovel appears on screen at the 1 minute and 6 second mark. It's not clear what this means at all. However, one thing I would think about based on a comment I saw in the video is that, quote, Tails might represent a real person, and Lover Mouse represents the user's stalker. Put 2 and 2 together, and you'll realize that this could not just be a stalker, but a murderer as well. Shovel could of course refer to anything, but my best guess is that Lover Mouse buried the body with a shovel after this happened. Hence why the word appears as Tails is getting torn apart. As of what did I write in the script? I must have been sleep deprived. I said, as of editing this video, there's no other videos uploaded related to Lover Mouse, so my journey ends here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all later.